We will interview the winner. Here's Gareth with MVP.
Michael Venom Page, the crowd, I think, wanted a finish from you tonight. We didn't get one.
I don't like to make excuses, but the canvas today was so slippery, I had to change my whole style. This is why after the first round, I stopped bouncing. I couldn't kick, because every time I tried to lift my leg, I was gonna slip. So it would have just defeated the whole point. So I had to go very basic. Ross is not a guy you can play with. I went to plan Z and decided to fight.
But it was a very interesting chess match, wasn't it, in the stand-up and on the ground?
Again, it only was because I couldn't move.
Michael, you fought 5 times in 2019. You've got a victory this year. Now, where do you want to go next and who do you want to face?
Everyone knows the answer to that. I only want one person. One person's giving me my defeat. Wherever you go, middleweight, I'll find you. Light heavyweight, I'll find you. Heavyweight, I'll find you. That's the rematch I want.
You're talking Douglas Lima, of course, who fights Gegard Mousasi in 2 weeks' time. So you'll be watching for the winner of that. You may even fight Lima or at middleweight if he holds the middleweight belt?
If he it's anywhere he wants to. Some people are talking like he's not going to come back down to welterweight. If he doesn't, then that means I have to move up. But that's the fight I want.
Does it irk you? Do you think about him every day then?
Sorry?
Do you think about him every day? Do you think about that defeat? You have to get revenge?
No. I've got a lot more to my life than just MMA. But when it comes to MMA, that's the one fight that I do want. That's the one fight I do think about.
Your fights are always fantastic and fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Page, congratulations.
MVP, the winner in our first of 2 main the Eiffel Tower. It is nighttime in Paris, and they are just wheeling around the Arc de Triomphe, the Louvre. It is a spectacular city. It is a great day, a great night, a great day for the sport of MMA inside the Accor Arena as we continue here on the Bellator YouTube channel and on the BBC iPlayer with some great matchups inside the Bellator cage. And when I say some great ones, I am not kidding. And don't forget, later on we have the fight that we've talked about, the one you see in the background, Kongo and Johnson. That will be a battle that will be a rematch that Tim Johnson would like to get a little redemption in. And that comes your way a little later after a handful of fights that begin at 145 in the featherweight division, as we have Kieran Clark representing SBG Ireland. His opponent is The Show. Fighting out of Paris, France, Jean Indoy.
Coming to the cage from Ireland, Kieran Clark.
John, as we get set for Kieran Clark to make his way to the Bellator cage, when you and I talked about this fight earlier in the week, you said it's a very tough one to call, because we'll get into it a little bit more when Jean Ndoye makes his way for his Bellator debut, but he hasn't fought in 7 years.
He hasn't fought in a long time, and he's fighting a guy who right now is doing really well as a professional. He's 2-0. He's looked outstanding. He's got a rear naked choke submission victory and went all the way to a unanimous decision victory in his second fight in Bellator. He is feeling good about what he's doing. He's working out with really good guys from SBG. He's got tough guys like Richie Smullen, who he's always got to grind against. So we know what Kieran Clark has been doing. We know who he's been training with, and we know that he's getting better and better. The real question is Jean Ndoye. He hasn't fought in a long time, and I'm telling you, he was a really good fighter. I remember him back in the day, and I've watched him again. He's got the tools, but are those tools still present?
Iron sharpens iron. We talk about it all the time. And when you talk about iron, you talk about SBG Ireland, proudly representing Drogheda County. It is Kieran Clark looking to move to 3-0 as a professional, looking to earn that third victory inside the Bellator cage. He already is 2-0 with both of his wins in Dublin, both as a Bellator fighter.
Well, Kieran Clark, he had an extensive, if you're looking at amateur records in MMA, Mike, Kieran Clark, he wanted to be the world champion, the amateurs, the IMAF organization crowns the amateur world champion. He went to that tournament twice. He was not successful, did well in it, came to the finals, but now as a professional, he has really hit his stride. He is fighting smart. He's fighting well. He's putting the fight where he wants. He's not overextending in it. He's taking his time. He's finding his places to take. There's a beautiful rear naked choke that we're seeing right there. And what you're seeing out of him is a guy who, as a professional, is really learning how to be that fighter that gives guys trouble no matter where the fight's at.
25-year-old Kieran Clark.
And now, coming to the cage from France, Jean Ndoye.
Born in Senegal, fighting out of Paris. He moved to France. He's at around age 4 or 5, grew up in the 18th district of Paris. Jean Ndoye has finished 7 of his 8 professional victories. His last fight, and you know I got it, John, 2,542 days ago, 6 years, 11 months, and 15 days.
Well, you're looking at a guy who started his career back in 2008, 12 years ago. And it's not like he's an old guy. He's not old. He's 33 years of age, and so he was young in his career, and he was doing great. His only loss, Mike, was a split decision loss in a fight a lot of people thought he won. So he could be undefeated at this moment. He just decided, you know what, I need to get away from MMA, and now he is back. He says he has been training for a long time, and the skills that he brings now are better than what he had in the past. We just have to wait and see.
He did say that he had to rebuild everything to train for this fight, but he's well surrounded and he has never been more ready for a mixed martial arts contest. And living in France since a very young age, you know, this is a very special moment for Jean the Show Ndoye. Our first matchup here on the Bellator YouTube channel as we continue our coverage on the BBC iPlayer. Our tail of the tape for this featherweight fight. Kieran Clark, unbeaten in his young professional career. 2-inch reach for Paris, France's The Show. He has the experience advantage, but as John and I talked about, he has not fought in a very long time. With the official introductions, here's Craig Stevens.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen in attendance here cage side. Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Bienvenue à Paris. And a very warm welcome to our viewers joining us around the world on Bellator's YouTube channel and BBC iPlayer. Bellator MMA continues with the Euro Series bonus coverage coming to you live from the Accor Arena here in Paris, France. So this is history in the making, and Bellator MMA would like to thank the French Boxing Federation and French MMA Federation for the honor of being the first major MMA event recognized in France. And thank you to the Minister of Sport, Roxana Marachinan, for fighting to make the sport legal in France. This is 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, standing 5'8" and weighing in at 145 pounds. His professional record so far perfect, 2-0 from Drogheda, County Louth, fighting out of Dublin, Ireland, Kieran Clark. And standing across the Bellator cage in the red corner at 5'9" and also weighing in 145 pounds even. His professional record, 8 wins, only 1 defeat, 7 wins inside the distance. He was born in Senegal. He fights out of Paris, France. He is Jean the Show Ndoye. And a referee is Mr. Dan Miragliotta.
Dan Miragliotta, our referee. Featherweight fight in France. Ndoye and Clark. And we are underway. Red gloves for Jean the Show Ndoye. Blue gloves for Kieran Clark. Purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under John Kavanagh.
I was just going to say, it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes for Clark to decide, I'm going to take this fight to the ground. Right away, he makes that decision.
His Bellator debut was a victory by rear naked choke. He went the distance in his fight back in February against Jamie Falding, won by unanimous decision. Looking to make quick work of his opponent here.
Starting to control those legs. One of the things that you'll see out of guys from SBG in Ireland is, people get into this thing about who you are trained by. And when it comes to jiu-jitsu and the submission game on the ground, but the guys that are out of SBG on the ground, a ton of them are just so proficient at being able to control a fighter, bring him down, and work towards that submission victory.
James Gallagher would be a great example.
An outstanding example. James Gallagher, when the fight hits the ground, you got to be careful because that guy is going to sink in a rear naked choke.
Ndoye doing a nice job getting back up. Just missed with that knee to the body. Clark's brother, Kieran's brother, Daryl, holds pads for him a ton. A family of fighters.
See when Kieran comes up, nice head position, up against Ndoye's neck and jaw. Trying to run the pipe on that single. He's got both legs if he can get his hands together. No, back to the single leg. Nice job of transitioning, looking for more than just to sit there and hold on to the leg. You see Ndoye trying to control that arm, going to a Kimura grip. That Kimura grip is what got him back up, Mike. You saw that was a nice takedown. And because he had that Kimura grip, which is usually a very good defense in a lot of situations, it was able to help him get back to his feet. Nice job by Ndoye. There's a lot of pressure here from Clark. Just those elbows inside are a big part of making someone not want to come back to this position. So anytime Ndoye gets a chance to hit that shot, big elbow punches inside, he needs to do it.
Those rabbit punches, but Clark very heavy, very persistent. Round number 1, SBG Ireland, Kieran Clark in the blue gloves. Jean Indoy, the show, in the red gloves.
This takes a lot of energy to do what Clark is doing, but we've seen that, you know what? He can do this for 3 rounds easy. He has got a big gas tank. He just keeps grinding and wearing you down.
Well, when he was assessing his most recent victory, he said he was able to use the cardio that you're referring to, John, and break his opponent in Jamie Falding.
Yeah, there was a little mistake by Indoy that I don't know if everyone saw, but he went to punch with that right hand, which took away his post and allowed Clark to actually lace that arm, go to a Dagestani handcuff on the one side. Now he's gonna be in a position where either Clark's gonna take his back or he's gonna have to put his back down to this canvas. Little tiny things make big differences in the fight.
Big John referred to the extensive amateur career of Clark. How about 13 wins, 11 setbacks? But that is a ton of amateur fights as he works from the Turk, from the half guard.
That, you know, it is a ton of amateur fights because we just don't see that. We see it in boxing, we don't see it in MMA. But it is so key that a fighter is smart enough to say, I'm gonna stay in the amateurs. Let me do the things I need to get better. Let me experience what it's like to compete. Let me go through all these things to when I turn pro, I'm 0-0. I did it again, Mike.
Yes, you did. You're just on fire right now. He said, I have put too much sacrifice into this. I owe it to the people who have stuck by me over the years. I've been doing this since I was 15 years old. This is my life ever since that time, and it has changed my life for the better. And a good start for Clark here in round 1.
Frustrating round for him. He had a guy that was just grinding on him. Can't let that get you. You just got to go out now into this second round and do the things that make you successful.
Round 2. Clark comes out southpaw, looking for the takedown immediately as he did in round 1.
Goes to that single leg. He should be raising that head up into that jawline a little bit. Trying to run the pipe on it, taking big shots. This is exactly what Indoy needs to do. Make him pay for coming inside and trying to get that takedown. Clark still being tenacious with it. Doesn't matter, I'm just gonna do what I do. He's got the leg up in the air, but that post of that right arm, that's what's keeping Indoy in a position right now. You're gonna see Clark trying to reach. You see him looking at it. He wants that arm because he knows if I get a hold of that arm, I can bring him straight to his back.
Trying to work his way to it by breaking down Jean Indoy with some short little punches, and there he's got it, John.
He's gonna try to feed that to his right arm. And that's the difference. That's what happens. You've got a choice. And you look at, I don't want to turn my back and give my back in this position, so I end up putting my back to the ground. Now I'm going to try to work, if I'm Indoy, I'm going to try to work my way out of this position from half guard.
As you said, Clark has an excellent gas tank. His cardio has never really been in question, especially put on display in his last fight back in February at the 3 Arena in Dublin.
That's exactly it. You look at all of the energy and all of the output that he had in that fight. By the end of it, he was still fresh. So it's telling you he can do this all day long.
Kieran talked about the fact that he's been active, he's been on the big stage, and so far he's been the man in the dominant position as we approach the midway point, about 20 seconds away. Round number 2 of this featherweight matchup.
Beautiful job taking the back. He went to that Dagestani handcuff, pulled that arm back, and now reached his leg over the top. Now he's in a position. You see Ndoye trying to push that leg out, trying to get his knee inside of that leg so he can at least get back to that half guard.
Well done. Near side underhook is beautiful. You're at 220. Keep that bottom leg. Nice pinch in the bottom leg.
Everything that you see going on here, Mike, this is just a chess game. Both guys are just putting little pieces out, putting a pawn out, seeing if you're going to do something, trying to push and get offensive. The other guy's fighting back. Good defense by Ndoye, doing the right things to stay safe. But this is just human chess. This is physical chess with their bodies.
Great job in the bottom hook here.
You hear John Kavanagh saying great job with the bottom hand.
Also, you see, take a look at that left leg of Ndoye, and you see that Clark is raising it up off of the ground, which makes it so he cannot get up. Little tiny things that are being done by both guys, but Clark is just being so systematic in what he's doing, getting to good positions. Got a butterfly guard now by Ndoye.
That's it. Step by step. Cross face.
Kieran Clark is very patient, John.
And that comes from
In a good way, yeah.
Absolutely, but it comes from all of that amateur experience. Yes,
Great point.
He's only 2-0 as a professional, but he's got all of those fights that he's learned how to remain calm and how to take his time and be patient. That is invaluable.
24 amateur fights.
40 seconds.
Looking to move to 3-0 as a professional. Ndoye has been in D mode this entire fight.
Yeah, in the entire fight. Here he goes. He's trying to work his way all the way to mount. He's got, Ndoye's got basically what we call a quarter guard. Now back to the half.
30 seconds.
I'd like to see Clark start to open up a little bit more. There you go. Start to, sometimes you got to give a little space. That space can equal escape, but you got to go for it at times.
Tes incertitudes, elles doivent être un peu plus loin. Un peu plus loin.
Third and final round. Ndoye in the red gloves, Clark in the blue gloves. I can score this one, John. 10-9, 10-9, Kieran Clark.
Well, what I just saw out of him was one of the things, if I was in his corner, I would have talked about, hey, you know he's going to come into you. So let's set him up, let's jab, let's look for that uppercut, or let's look for a knee inside as he makes that entrance. And you saw him try for that uppercut. But right now, again, Clark bringing him right back to where he's had him in this entire fight, up against the cage and working for the takedown.
Why do I feel that if Josh were with us, Josh Thompson were with us right now, he would try to like counter my scorecard? Just because he can be kind of a punk.
Yeah, just because he's Josh Thompson.
That's exactly right. We love you, Josh.
Absolutely.
Nothing but love, brother. Had our 4 fights on CBS Sports Network, also on the BBC iPlayer, which is continuing here. We've moved to the Bellator YouTube channel. And still to come, Cheick Kongo's biggest moment of his fighting career, a battle finally in his hometown of Paris, France.
Ndoye's living on that wizard. That wizard's keeping him alive right now in this position, but you see Clark trying to push him over. He was using little foot sweeps. Now he's got a figure 4, triangled the body. A lot worse position. This is the worst position that we've seen Ndoye in this fight now, as far as there's really not a whole lot he can do offensively. He's stuck. He needs to figure out, I need to turn within this. He's got the foot in the right position with it down towards the canvas, but he needs to try to turn his body inside of that figure 4 right now.
Trying to put some pressure on the left foot of Clark. But Clark looking to systematically break down his opponent. Those body shots are starting to do just that, John.
Yeah, well, he was 2-on-1, you know, to try to keep that choke from occurring. But by keeping the choke from occurring, he's getting hit with shots, and he's not taking care of this body triangle that has got him stuck right now.
As you look at the knees of Kieran Clark, you can tell this dude is a grappler.
Yeah, the strawberries, they do occur. Nice job. Transitioning to mount. Some people will go, why are you doing that? But he feels like, you know what? I'm comfortable in either that mount position or this half guard. He's done so well throughout the fight from that half guard position. He doesn't really, it doesn't matter to him right now. He knows that I'm just going to sit here and do what I do, try to break you down more, and maybe get back to that position and get my choke. Big right hand.
Professional since 2008, Jean Ndoye. He's got to do something because it has been all Kieran Clark with under 2 on the clock.
And Ndoye is showing that, you know, I know I'm in trouble here as far as, you know, I'm losing this fight. I got to take chances, and that's what he's doing, is taking chances and trying to get out from Clark. It's just that Clark is able to take his back, and now he's in another bad position.
Can he get the finish here? He's got the body lock. Looking to break him down, get the choke.
See Ndoye taking that arm, 2-on-1 on the arm to make sure that that choke cannot take effect. A little bit of a face crank now. It doesn't feel good. It's a matter of putting up with pain.
Total domination for Kieran Clark.
Well, it's one of the things that makes it hard in MMA is you look at the gloves, and when someone takes their hand and puts their hand on the arm against that, you know, sleeve area of the glove, it makes it so it's like a stopper. It's hard to get your hand free. See the Ndoye's mouthpiece is out now, and he's able to turn position. Now he's back to that position. He is in the guard. You see Clark going for an armbar, moving himself out. Ndoye looking for the choke.
10 seconds, could he get it?
It's not there, Mike.
Good effort late.
Absolutely, you gotta love, man, all the way to the end.
All the way to the end. It was the mouthpiece that was getting in the way, John.
Might have been.
Well, after 7 years away from MMA, Jean Ndoye was in bad positions for 14.5 minutes, John, but he showed he still got that competitive spirit.
He's got heart, no doubt about it, Mike. Some of these were bad positions he's in, but he goes from this position. You see him controlling that arm to keep that choke from occurring. That mouthpiece is out now, and then he turns the position. This is what what I wanted to see him try to do in that first time that you saw Clark get the body triangle. He gets it back. Now he's in guard in the top position. Going to try to do damage here. You see Clark moving the position. Now coming out, he goes for the choke. Gets on top. You got a neck crank choke situation, but never had the position to make it effective.
So the 25-year-old Irishman will move to 3-0 as a professional. Drogheda, County Louth, Ireland, going the distance once again, and as John talked about earlier, shows that he puts in the work and stays in great shape. His cardio outstanding.
It's so impressive when a guy goes into the cage and just implements his game. And doesn't try to do anything that is outside of the norm for him. Don't take the big chances. Be smart. Go after the win the way that you know you can get it.
Judges rendering their decision. It is in, and we will get it once again to Craig Stephen.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, we go to our judges. Judge Sal D'Amato, 30-26. Both judges, Jaron Vallel, Doug Crosby, 30-27. All three judges for the winner by unanimous decision from Ireland, Kieran Clark.
Kieran Clark by unanimous decision. All three of those wins, as I mentioned, have come inside the Bellator cage. A beautiful performance. Wasn't able to finish there as his coach, Jean Kavanaugh. And you said Jean.
Did you say Jean?
I did, yeah. And I'm going to hear from Coach on that one.
Still undefeated, 3-0. What did it mean tonight to go through this against Jean Ndoye in front of a crowd finally?
Yeah, I'm very chuffed to the win now. I'm just so happy to be fighting here at Bellator. I mean, in these uncertain times, everybody coming out and watching, thanks very much. Scott, Jude, Mike, everybody for putting on the line, thanks very much.
You're a young man making your way in the sport. Like you say, the growth of the sport in Europe under Bellator banner must be lighting a fire under you.
Oh, big time, 100%. To come in here against an 8-1 guy, hasn't fought in a few years, but he is tough, guys. 8-1, I'm ready for the next challenge. I'll fight anyone who put in front of me. I'm here to fight the best.
Who do you fancy next?
Whoever he put in front of me, I can't say no, that's my problem. That's my problem.
Talk to us about what it meant to have the crowd enjoying the ground game tonight as well.
And I have my girlfriend and a friend up there. They got me. Took 2 weeks off work to come over. Got them tickets. Everybody for coming out. Honestly, I'm so happy to be fighting here. Honestly, thanks very much, Paris.
Kieran Clark, many congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Nicely done, and coached by John Kavanaugh.
Well, man, maybe when he's in Paris, he is Jean.
Yeah, he might. Some people might say, "Hey, Jean Kavanaugh, nice to meet you." That was my George St. Pierre, by the way.
That was very nice.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Clark is 3-0, appreciative of another opportunity to battle here in Bellator, and he does so impressively. Let's get it to Gareth Davies and Bellator's own Leah McCourt, 3-0 in her Bellator career.
Welcome back, and on a historic night here in Paris. It's been absolutely amazing so far. A celebration of mixed martial arts for the first time here in the capital of France. Well, joining me, the one and only Miss Leah McCourt. a Bellator featherweight fighter, of course. Leah, we've seen some terrific action so far tonight. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah, some great first-round finishes, and that was a great performance by Kieran. Yeah.
It was indeed. Well, look, we saw a terrific fight tonight, a very different kind of fight between Michael Venom Page and Ross Houston tonight. Michael Venom Page complaining to me afterwards. He didn't like the canvas, but Ross Houston looked very defensively minded and very clever in this fight. He stretched Michael Page tonight. Let's have a look at it.
Yeah, you know, Ross has...
From Michael Venom Page tonight. It was a different kind of fight for him, but the point being, he's still winning and he's still after Douglas Lima. Coming up next, we haven't had a French winner so far, but Maggie Burchell and Lucie Berthaud are both French women. We are guaranteed a French winner. Here we go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have two French fighters coming to the cage. Please welcome first, from Paris, Lucie Berthaud.
I can't hear you. I couldn't hear you, Sydney. Just talk.
Lucie Berthaud, born and raised in Paris. Her nickname, Fireball. Mike Goldberg, Big Sean McCarthy.
You're just trying to play it off now.
I'm probably going to get just every member of SBG Ireland is now going to pick on Coach, and it's my fault.
Lucie Berthaud here. Mike, this girl can box. I am telling you, this lady is good with her hands. She's fast, she moves well, she's got very fluid movement, she controls distance well, she does what we call, she dips and rips. It's the question of, has her ground game come up to the level of her stand-up game for her to be able to take on a fighter who is French that has a lot of experience with a 10-4 record in McGuire.
Lucie, a member of the 2012 French Olympic boxing squad, has trained in South Florida at American Top Team. She's good friends with Valerie Loretta, who's coming off a great victory. She tried American football after her career as a boxer, was on the first female team in France as a linebacker and a running back. She's a mixed martial artist here today.
And now, mesdames, messieurs, from Créteil, Maggie Burchell.
So you've got the young lady nicknamed Fireball because, as she said, of her explosive temper against France's top-ranked female flyweight fighter, the four-time French Pancrase champion, Maggie Burchell.
Maggie Burchell has been in the MMA game for a while. At 10-4, I've watched her fight on a couple of occasions. She is tough. She does not give in to any submissions. She will fight her way out of anything. This lady brings a well-rounded game. Her stand-up is good. Her ground is good. You have got to be exceptional in either area to be the better fighter. She is the best French female fighter that we have seen so far.
She said, after 15 fights, I finally have the opportunity to compete in one of the major organizations, one of the biggest in the world. This is what I've been waiting for years. I want to prove I'm still a huge factor in this MMA game. All my fans know what sacrifices I have made. They know who I am. I just want to say that they give me strength, they make me happy, and I want to thank them. She would love to thank them with a big victory.
I think if she's going to get that big victory, she needs to put away the ego, because she does like to stand and bang. and put Lucy onto the canvas where you have an advantage.
Flyweight matchup. Our tail of the tape for this battle between two natives of France. Maggie Burchell, 4 years younger than her opponent, the outstanding boxer. Everything else is virtually identical. And once again, with the official introductions, Craig Stevens.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, we continue with Bellator MMA's bonus coverage from the Euro Series. And this is 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, at 5'6" and weighing in at 125.8 pounds. Her professional record, 2 wins, 2 defeats. Fighting out of Paris, France, Lucy Fireball Berto. And across the Bellator cage in the red corner, standing 5'5" and 125.4 pounds. Her professional record, 10 wins, 4 defeats and 1 draw, with 6 wins inside the scheduled distance. From Che, fighting out of Crete, France, Maggie Burchell. And a referee when the action begins, Todd Anderson.
Todd Anderson, our referee. The females battling at flyweight. Lucy Berto and Maggie Burchell. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Ready?
Here we go. Quickly coming to the center of the cage, Maggie Burchell in the red gloves. Long right hand from Lucy Berto in the blue.
Wow, I'm really surprised that Berto came out. She throws the right hand, but goes for the takedown, gets it, and now has Burchell on her back. That's the thing about MMA, Mike. You have so many things that you have the ability to do. Are you going to be that complete fighter? Most of the time when I'm watching and I see Lucy Berto, she is a stand-up fighter. But right away, she goes for the takedown against someone that I thought had an advantage on the ground.
And she's happy to stay there, John.
And doing some damage. Big shots. Burchell's got those hands closed around the body.
Both women honored to have this opportunity to be the first females to fight here in Paris. Lucy got to walk first.
You think about how cool it would be to say, I am the first female to get a win in MMA in the city of Paris.
Absolutely.
Kind of cool.
Very much so.
Nice job by Lucy Berto. She's got double unders here. We'll see what she can do with it. She let her hands go, and you see Burchell dig for that underhook. Now they're back to a 50-50 position.
This is the type of fight that Maggie Burchell wants.
Yeah, this is the type of fight that actually benefits Maggie Burchell. She is that grinder style, and she's got that ground game, but you see Berto always working for the takedown, so she's feeling confident that if she gets the fight to the ground, she's going to do well there. She's got to know something that she feels good about in facing someone that's got that much experience and has fought so well on the ground before.
And she went old school foot stomp.
All the way back to Marco Huas.
You got that right.
King of the streets. Bringing out the foot stomps, and everyone went, whoa, what is that?
That's called my opponent's foot is crushed. That's what that is. So one of the greatest female boxers to ever come out of France against France's top-ranked female mixed martial artist. at flyweight.
Yeah, but look at these swing knees by Berto. She's showing, hey, I am a mixed martial artist. I may have started out in boxing, but I am a full-fledged mixed martial artist, and I will use every tool available to me.
And as I mentioned earlier, John, she has spent a ton of time at American Top Team. Wasn't able to do it for this fight with obviously the pandemic, but you train at American Top Team, you're going to train your entire skill set.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at some of the ladies that are fighting out of American Top Team. You know, only people like Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Joanna Jacek, and you know, Valerie Letourneau. There's just a ton of talent in the female divisions fighting out of ATT.
Valerie Loretta coming off a win and some good dancing in her celebration. One of the reasons that Lucy went over there to train. Both women showing their strength here. Battling for position.
Back and forth on the fence here. You see Berto actually trying to get these takedowns. I'm not seeing Burchell doing the same thing. She's trying to turn position, and she does. She's never been really searching. Now she's searching for that takedown.
Final 15 seconds of round one. Oh, sharp elbow.
Very nice elbow over the top.
Yep, pushed away, then used that momentum against her opponent. Snapped it pretty strongly.
The elbow right at the end of the round, and you saw Burchell land on Berto. Overall, the better striking throughout the round was probably Berto, but you take a look at what's in the judges' minds and what they see last, Mike. They're going to hear that elbow. They're going to see it. It might register that, oh, you know what? We had a lot of grappling in that clinch position, not a whole lot of striking. That's a really close round.
Ready? So the battle continues, round two. Burchell in the red gloves, Berto in the blue gloves. Oh, good counter with the right hand.
Exactly right. That was just well done. This is where I thought that Berto would really have the advantage, was in that stand-up, and I'm surprised she is the one that wants this fight on the ground. Normally when a fighter is doing something and being successful, they like to stick with it. She has a game plan, and she's going right back to her game plan.
And Lucy has stayed busy in all forms and fashion. Used to be a journalist. When she was on the national team of boxing, she said no media really promoted female boxing. So she decided to study journalism in order to become the camera and promote fighters like herself. Got a spot in one of the top colleges in France.
If you can't get someone else to do it yourself.
Amen.
That was really a nice job when she hit the ground. You saw her pull Burchell's hips away from the cage so she couldn't use that cage to get herself back up.
She said she has dreamed of fighting here inside the Acor Arena her entire life. Compared it to a lot of the great boxing matches that have taken place at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
Once again, you saw Burchell going towards that cage to be able to utilize it as a tool, and Berteau pushes away from it, gets her more to the center of the cage. You know, big difference in the way it used to be. It always used to be you wanted to drive your opponent into the cage, Mike. Now, most fighters, they're going to push away from the cage and do their work towards the middle so their opponent cannot use that cage to get themselves back up.
Good body head from Lucy. She definitely looks like a mixed martial artist, not a boxer, especially as we look at her continuing evolution on the ground.
Well, you can tell she has worked on her ground game. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's got good base. You can see how her legs are and how she is able to control with that one bit of shoulder pressure with the right shoulder and land that left hand. Nice move right to mount.
Outstanding, right at the midway point of this fight.
Now she's got her feet under the hips of Burchell. Now she's going back to the grapevine. Looking towards, grabbing the arm. Now she might be looking towards an Americana. She's being very heavy with her hips. That grapevine, the hips are putting a lot of pressure on Burchell. You see her trying to get rid of the grapevine. A lot of weight, it's affecting her breathing.
Couldn't buck her off once and twice.
Well, that's what that grapevine, when you have a grapevine, it's difficult to use what we'll call the upa to get somebody up and over. So you got to get rid of that grapevine that you're seeing now just with the right leg. It's there. She's starting to land good little shots inside.
90 seconds on the clock. Round number 2, 3-round fight. Great position here for Lucy Berteau. Both women making their Bellator debut here in their home country of France.
Voilà, et maintenant tu comptes. Voilà, et maintenant inverse tes hanches. Elle ne pourra pas attraper là.
Berteau just allowing her to float underneath her. She's trying to move the feet. Can't get it done. Berteau just holding on nice and easy, going for that key lock. Now she does not have that arm in the right position. That is something she should not have gone for from where it was at. We always talk about position before submission, but this is a nice armbar attempt.
Burchell trying to work her way out of it, and she's safe at least for now. 20 seconds.
Nice takedown by Berteau.
Right into side control. Good round 2 for Lucy Berteau.
This was that takedown. Lucy Berteau taking her to the ground. There was some good stand-up in the beginning. She was able to get a hold, takes her down, and then did some really nice ground and pound, put a lot of pressure on her. And then there was the switch of positions, and she goes for this armbar here. She actually has it in position at one point, but then you saw the slip. As soon as that arm slipped away, she didn't have control of that hand. She was able to pull her elbow out, land a couple of good hammer fists. From this position, you saw Lucy Berteau turn it back and try to get into being the person in the top position.
One more round to go.
Ready? Ready?
5 minutes remain. Red gloves for Burchell, blue gloves for Berteau. Round one, Maggie Burchell may have captured right at the end, as John talked about with that elbow. Round two, a great round for Lucy Berteau.
Right now, I personally have Berteau up in the fight. I have her up for both rounds. Nice right hand by Berteau. She's got good stand-up skills. You watch her move around. She controls the distance, moves her feet to slide herself inside, has good power on her shots.
Ducked under nicely. Throws from many different angles. That from all those years of working her hands at a very high level, at an Olympic level. Nice uppercut.
Beautiful lead left uppercut. Does it again. I'm sure that Burchell is like, man, this is not the girl that I've seen fight before.
Absolutely.
She always wanted to stay on their feet, and I figured if I got in those clinch situations, I would be the better, stronger fighter. And right now, Berteau has showed that, you know what, she's that complete mixed martial artist. She has fought well in every range and in every position.
Lucy Berteau had a show in France called Face of Face. The goal was to make people discover a new martial art each and every month. And she decided for the last episode to dedicate it to MMA, and she put herself in a real competition. This is as real as it gets here in France for these two young ladies.
You just saw that head position she was utilizing so well, Mike. Turning Burchell's head into a position where she's weak, sweeps the leg out, gets her down to the ground, and then now is back in that mount position.
We thought we might see Lucy Berteau light up her opponent with superior striking, but she has dominated her opponent with some serious grappling.
She has definitely dominated this fight through grappling, and she's landed some really good strikes when she was on her feet, but she has showed, you know what, I know where I want to be in this fight, and I'll take it where I want, and when I do, I will do damage from there, and that's what she's done so far. When you have the cage here like this, it can allow Burchell to use it to try to buck her off. You need to be cognizant of the fact of where you're at, and as she starts to turn that position, if you can't maintain it, then roll off, come into side control. But right now she's showing I can maintain the position and I can still punch.
And I'm guessing if you defeat France's top-ranked female flyweight fighter, you become France's top-ranked female fighter.
You are just a stone genius.
Yes, you've known that for 2 decades. I just remind you.
Okay, with little anecdotes like that one. Got it. Glad you reminded me.
Thank you, Big Jean McCarthy.
Back to grapevining of the legs. Berteau really needs to gain her posture here. If you're gonna be in this position, when you don't have the grapevines, then posture up and bring down power. Elbows are the most explosive thing you can land when it comes to the mount position, because you have all of your weight on top coming down. The gravity helps. It just makes it a devastating blow.
And your opponent has nowhere to go.
And their head is where, Mike?
Yeah, it is on the canvas.
Not a lot of give.
There's no cushion.
She keeps looking towards that Americana, but she doesn't set it up right. She's got to figure out, she needs to control the head with her arm to be able to make it work. So hopefully she doesn't go back to it the same way she did in the second round, which is how you saw Burchell get to the top position.
But John, the full mount and then adding in the grapevine, as you talked about, just simply outstanding technique.
Big heavy
There's
strike
big
right
shots.
there.
Lucy Berteau 20 seconds away from becoming the first female to win a professional MMA fight in a big organization in her home country. A true dream come true. They go the distance. Not quite the fight you expected to see, John, but a dominant performance for Fireball.
No, not the fight I expected at all as far as the performance by Lucy Berto. I was expecting her to try to keep this fight on her feet as much as she could because that was where her strength was at. But man, she proved me wrong. Take a look at some of this. That is a beautiful right hand, slides out. She has got really good stand-up. She's got good power, but she also decides when she takes it to the ground, she's got big shots and good base and positioning, which keeps her opponent underneath her. You saw Burchell doing all kinds of different things to try to get out. She was never able to get out in the third round of that mount position. A just brilliant performance by Lucy Berto. Maybe it's that SPG training.
Yeah, John Kavanaugh.
Oh, that's Jean.
Yeah.
Jean Kavanaugh.
That's his cousin. That's his twin brother. Well, if you can't make your way to the States as you've done in the past, making your way over to Ireland to SPG and working with John Kavanaugh is going to improve your ground game immensely, and she put it on display for the world for 15 minutes. The official decision is in, and once again, we give it to Craig Stephen.
Ladies and gentlemen, fight goes the distance inside the Bellator cage. We go to our judges' cage side. Judge Doug Crosby, 29-28. Bojan Valel Saldamato, 30-26. All in favor of the winner by unanimous decision from Paris, France, Lucy Fireball Berto.
Fireball becomes the first. What a great moment for the 35-year-old former member of the French Olympic boxing squad. The victor set to visit with Gareth.
Lucy Berto, many congratulations.
Wow.
How do you feel?
Such a journey. It has been a long journey, especially with this pandemic. It was difficult to train. It was difficult to be here, to be negative, to have coach, to have everything. It was so hard to be here and to stand up here. And so that's what I thought before coming here. I was like, okay, you did all that thing, now you're here, you deserve this freaking win.
Est-ce que vous voulez parler en français pour les gens?
Excusez-moi. Ok, j'étais en train de dire que c'était un trajet incroyable parce qu'il a fallu qu'on s'entraîne dans des bonnes conditions. Il a fallu qu'on n'attrape pas le Covid, qu'on ait des tests tous les jours. Tous les jours, j'avais une épée de Damoclès au-dessus de ma tête. Bref, tout ça pour dire que mes coachs n'étaient pas là aujourd'hui. Et justement, je pense à eux parce que je leur dois tout et ils n'ont pas pu être là malheureusement à cause de cette pandémie. Donc voilà, je le dédie à mes coachs, je le dédie à tous ceux qui m'ont accompagné, à ceux qui ont permis à ce combat d'arriver, au Bellator qui s'est battu. Et grâce à vous tous et tout votre soutien, on est là. Donc juste merci. Merci à vous. Merci à vous et je vous aime. Merci.
A brief summary for our viewers all around the world. You love everyone, you love the French public, you love Bellator, you love Scott Coker, you love everybody that campaigned for MMA to be able to come to Paris.
Because they know that we are to go through a lot of obstacles at the moment. We are all together. Je leur disais juste qu'on était tous ensemble en fait. On est tous en galère, on va se soutenir et on va s'en sortir. Ok? Allez à tous.
Many congratulations, Lucy Berto!
I love you!
What a great young lady and a monumental moment in her combat career. Lucy Berto becomes the first. Fireball with the win over Maggie Burchell inside the Bellator cage. All right, let's check back in with Gareth and Leah.
It would be a little bit wrong of me not to speak un petit peu de français au Paris. Leah, what a great performance. We've got a French winner in France finally. Lucy Berthaud, the first significant MMA event, and Lucy is the first French winner here.
Yeah, she has such a strong performance, and it was interesting because she's such an extensive boxing background. She's fought Katie Taylor, she's fought, you know, so much through the amateur ranks, and she came out and she dominated grappling. She got her down to the ground. She was strong in all of her positions. She was having nice ground and pound, and really dominated every round.
As you say, she is dominant in the stand-up. She was at a very elite level as a boxer 6 years ago at the age of 29. She goes to the World Amateur MMA Championships and pits her wits. Now she's got a ground game to go with it. She wasn't shy about scraping the bodies on the canvas tonight, was she?
No, she was explosive. She had big power in her shots, and she was quick to get the takedowns as well. She was getting a clinch and getting those takedowns to dominate on the ground.
You know what? It's a very, very emotional moment for her tonight. You could see that. She's one of those people. They said she couldn't box. She made it. They said she couldn't be a journalist. She's a combat sports presenter like you are. And the other thing now is she's a mixed martial artist who becomes the first French winner in a major event in Paris. How far can she go at that age in the flyweight division?
She looked really good tonight. I was really impressed. You know, the flyweight division of Bellator is stacked, but she's got the skills, she's got the stand-up experience, and she showed tonight she had grappling as well, and really strong grappling. She was really dominating that fight.
Well, next up, we have a featherweight contest with Fabakary Diatta, another Frenchman, and Dominique Wooding. This is going to be the fight of the night, in my view. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the cage from France, Fabakary Diatta.
Just a few days shy of his 24th birthday, Fabakary Diatta, 8-0 as a professional mixed martial artist, set to battle inside the Bellator cage for the very first time here in France for the very first time.
Well, he is a good athlete. He's strong, and he loves to pick up his opponent and slam them to the ground. That is one of his trademarks in all of his fights. He will get inside, he will get his hands locked, and when he does, he elevates and he brings you down with some velocity. So he's fun to fun to watch. He counter fights well. He's got hard leg kicks. He's got heavy hands. He's kind of like a Matt Hughes in the way he goes about things. He'll either get that double leg and pick you up, put you on his shoulder, or he'll get that body lock and swing your legs to the side. You're going to go for a ride.
My power and wrestling, he said, are his advantages in this fight against Dominique Wooding. A combined 17-0 as an amateur and a professional. He would love to remain perfect with a win over the Black Panther.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the cage from England, Dominique Wooding.
featherweight fight. John talked about the records, 6-3 for Wooding, a perfect 8-0 for Diatta. Wooding will have a 2-inch reach advantage. Once again with the official introductions, Craig Stephen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, from the Accor Arena, Paris, France, Bellator MMA continues with its Euro Series bonus coverage, and this is 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, at 5'9" and weighing in at 146 pounds. His record so far perfect, 8 wins, no defeats. Fighting out of Aubervilliers, France, Fabakary Diatta. And across the Bellator cage in the red corner, standing 5'9" and weighing in at 144.8 pounds. His professional record, 6 wins, 3 defeats, with all 6 wins coming by KO. Fighting out of London, England, he is the Black Panther, Dominic Wooding. Referee for this one, Mr. Dan Miragliotta.
Dan Miragliotta, our referee. Those 6 professional wins by knockout, 3 came in the first round, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Dominic Wooding and Fabakary Diatta. Here we go. Red gloves for Wooding and Aubervilliers Diatta in the blue gloves. Oh, nice kick.
Beautiful low calf kick. That kick right there has been a difference maker in our sport. It's something you can't catch. It's too low to catch, and there's just not a lot of meat on that leg there, and it can take away your ability to feel your foot, and then all of a sudden your footwork's gone, and you've got to change your style. It is a devastating kick.
It's a good matchup between 2 explosive athletes. Wooding, a natural southpaw, will switch his stance, as many of our fighters modern day will do so. Orthodox stance for Diatta. There's the switch. Working in the clinch. It's a good clinch.
Very good clinch. You saw how he's able to control, move the body where he wants. Look, Dominic Wooding is good, man. I told you, as a 145er, this is his weight class. He is strong here. He's still big, and he's so fluid in his movement, and he's so explosive. Just a beautiful jab right there, snapping Diatta's head back. You see him, little tiny feints. He's trying to set up some traps. Nice snapping jab by Diatta.
Wooding grew up on the north side of London in Edmonton, not to be confused with the Alberta, Canada version of it. Aggressive with his hands early, 8-0, Fabakary Diatta. There's that low kick again, John.
Yeah, and he needs to keep going back to that when he can. You can see that Diatta puts a lot of weight on that front leg at times. And when that thing is set and you hit that calf kick, it's going to do damage. Like the way Diatta opened up there, going after him. Starting to look like he's a little more relaxed. He was looking a little tight, and that could be, hey, man, first time here in Paris fighting in front of his, countrymen. But he's starting to loosen up a little bit. He's starting to feel the flow. All the nerves are gone now. Now it's just business.
He said, I'm a passionate fighter who loves the feeling of adrenaline before the fight. I like to learn new techniques to surpass myself and become better every single day. This would, without a doubt, if he pulls it off, be the biggest win of his professional career. And as I mentioned, he's been perfect thus far.
Oh, no doubt this would be the biggest win. You take a look at where they have both fought and stuff, and you got to give it to Wooding. He's fought higher level competition in bigger organizations like BAMMA and ACB and places like that. So, and then Bellator. So Diata's got some, you know, levels to step up into, but he's doing well right now.
"90 seconds on the clock, round number 1. Red gloves for Dominic Wooding, blue gloves for Fabakary Diata.
Nice exchange there by Diata. He stops that shoot and then leaves him with something to think about on that exit. That's an important element.
Over the top.
Baba, t'es bien, tu cadres, tranquille, il te reste 40 secondes, Baba. 40 secondes.
He's gone low with that kick a couple of times. That one more towards the body. I'm waiting for a head kick.
Yeah, and you can see, well, you can tell a couple of times when Diata has thrown that jab out, 2 times he's dropped that hand down. He doesn't do it every time, but he has done it. And I think Wooding has seen it, and he's waiting on it.
Now good work from Diata in the clinch.
He's going for that takedown. Nice knees inside.
Good first 5 minutes in this featherweight fight.
Good clean round for both fighters. That nice kick, that low calf kick, you can see takes him right off of his feet based upon it, just sweeping his leg out in balance. Nice back and forth between both guys in that first round.
All right, partner, I'm going to have you put your coach's cap on. First of all, what advice would you give to Wooding?
For Wooding, I would just tell him you need to utilize that jab and that low calf kick more. When he starts to get flat-footed and he's putting weight on that front foot, I want you to attack that leg like you were at times in the first round. If I'm Diata's coach, I need you to start taking, and you need to bring that foot outside of his lead foot and that right hand straight down the middle. That's going to be available to you because you're the one that's crushing that space. When you decide to crush it, go. Don't hesitate, don't hold back.
You didn't even need me to transition from one corner to the other.
I got to tell you, I'm really impressed in watching Diata before. I thought, man, this kid's really good. He's a young kid, Mike, 23 years old. That's a young man. And he's really a good fighter. He's got a lot going for him. You know, obviously, he's going to just get better and better, and he's going to improve. Someday, you're going to see this guy fighting for world titles.
He won a championship in a smaller organization already, so he has been at that level where he felt, because at certain points in your life, a championship fight is a championship fight, obviously, partner. So he won the championship, the 100% fight featherweight championship. Now he wants to be a factor on the big stage, the Bellator stage. Perfect 17-0 between his amateur and professional fights.
So that's what I want to see. When you close that distance, nice body shot. When you close that space, don't just stay inside and not throw. Start throwing your hands. Make things happen.
And throw combinations.
Yep.
All 6 of Wooding's professional wins by knockout.
Well, he's landed some good shots on Deotta. He's got some clean shots on him. Deotta has not blinked. Nice job of stopping the takedown there.
That was a close first 5 minutes, John. Who would you give the edge to?
You got to give it to Wooding. He landed the cleaner, crisper shots. He had those calf kicks that took him off his feet. Wooding got the first round. Right now, Deotta's doing well.
Midway point of this fight. Red gloves Wooding, blue gloves Deotta. Our coverage continuing here on the Bellator YouTube channel, BBC iPlayer. And Czech Congo about to enjoy the biggest moment of his MMA career still to come in the rematch with Tim Johnson.
Deotta really starting to snap that jab out. It's finding its mark. Nice little combination by Deotta. Pressure. He needs to keep that pressure on him. That pressure makes it to where he can't breathe.
Some of those body shots. Nice knee.
Ditto. You see something like that, you go, oh, that was so good. Wooding has the ability to get this takedown. He's got his hands. There you go. Once those hands are closed, it's just a question, why is he waiting?
For Wooding, 5 of his 8 amateur wins were also by knockout.
Deotta trying to put weight down on that head. It's hard to pick up when your head's buried. You can't get that takedown the same way, so you got to swing it out. He's doing good things to try to stop the takedown of Wooding here. Nice job. Wooding's starting to look like he's getting a little bit tired. Starting to breathe out of his mouth. You can see his mouth open at times. Took a big gulp of air.
That's that pressure you were talking about that Deotta has placed upon him, especially here in round 2.
And that's what I would, if I was in Deotta's corner, I need you to continue this pressure. I need you to come forward. I need you to make him work. Make him feel uncomfortable, like he doesn't have that space to grab that momentary breath of air. See, you just watched how he just brought that kick up.
Yeah. Nicely done. Side control.
And notice, man, right away, doesn't care about giving space. Oh, that was not good, though. He was a down fighter when he threw that knee. That was a mistake.
And he knows it.
A little overzealous.
Yeah. And John, you've done so many fights. It's split second.
It is, but you get used to the positions and knowing when you can. Well, look where he's at right now. That knee's on the ground. That knee comes up. And when that knee's on the ground, doesn't matter if both hands are high above his head. He is a grounded fighter, and you cannot knee or kick him to the face or head. This right here, I'm telling you straight out, Mike, I don't blame Wooding at all. Take the time, but it's not because he was hurt by the knee. You could see the reaction of him when he looked over at referee Dan Merglano like, hey, what the hell is that? But what he is getting here is exactly what he needs. He is getting air in his lungs. His heart rate is coming down. He's getting refreshed. Take all the time you want. The other guy fouled you.
And he got himself out of a bad position.
Yep. A lot of people get confused, and even fighters get confused sometimes about the grounded position. When we talk about a grounded fighter, if your feet are on the ground, yes, that hand goes down and that makes you grounded. But if your knee is on the ground, it doesn't matter if everything else is up in the air. With that one knee on the ground, you are a grounded fighter, and that means that you cannot be attacked with those knees or kicks to the face or head. Good round for Deotta, though, Mike.
Big time. We got ourselves a battle with 5 minutes remaining.
Okay, final round. You ready? You ready? Let's go, John. Final round.
Aubervilliers, France 8-0. Fabakary Diatta against Dominic Wooding. Red gloves for the Black Panther. Francis Diatta in the blue. And it's 1-1.
I have it as 1-1. I think the guy who takes this round, if it ends up going the distance, is going to get this fight. Right now, it seems to me that Diatta's the little bit, he's a fresher fighter. Just missing with that jab. Nice takedown. Way to change levels by Wooding. Brings him to his back. Not a bad game plan when you're looking at what was occurring on the feet.
Wooding's losses have been a unanimous decision, a split decision, and he was submitted in the 3rd round of a fight, a rear naked choke loss back in 2017. We have a very close fight with 3 minutes remaining.
And you can take a look at it. That was a really nice takedown, like I said, from Wooding. Once the fight hit the ground, the offense stopped. He wasn't able to do a lot, so judges aren't going to give the takedown that much credit. He wasn't able to do anything to progress the position or to do damage in the fight, like you're seeing from Diatta right here, who's really opening up.
Oh, big time. He had the shoulder strike. I love the way he turns those hips over when he throws the knees, John. This kid is talented.
He is good, and he's being energized by this crowd of his countrymen who he is being able to perform in front of for the first time.
And we've seen his confidence grow minute by minute in this fight.
Yeah, you could tell when he first came in that first round, he was tight.
Yes.
And that's, you can't blame him. He's 23 and he's fighting, like I said, in front of his countrymen. There's a lot of weight on his shoulders. He's wanting to do well. Now he's just fighting the way that he knows how he's been trained. He's relaxed, he's feeling good in there. Right now, it's anyone's fight, though.
See if he sets up a kick here. Watch the back foot of Fabakary Diatta. Keep an eye on how his stance goes. Inside kick from his opponent. Under 2. John, you told me this was going to be a fun fight. You were absolutely 100% correct.
I thought, watching, knowing how good Dominic Wooding was, but then when I was watching Diatta, I was like, man, this kid can fight. He's tough. He's strong. He really reminded me a lot of a guy like Matt Hughes, but he was better in the stand-up because he liked to stand and bang. Matt was always a guy, yeah, I'll stand for a while, and then I'm just going to take you down and crush you.
Matt always wanted that knockout. He wanted that highlight reel knockout, and he once told me that when he would see the opportunity for the takedown, it was like a big turkey leg on Thanksgiving. He just couldn't avoid it. Had to dive in and take it. And he was pretty good at it.
Bred India.
Yes, indeed.
You see right now Diatta trying to get that arm away so he can drive forward and force Wooding down to his back. The elbow's still on the ground. Wooding gives his back. Diatta needs to get that hook in. He does not do it, so you're going to see Wooding get up. Diatta needs to get those. He's got those hands together. S-grip. There you go.
Excellent. 30 seconds. Huge takedown late in this fight.
There is no guillotine here. That could be a Von Flue choke by Diatta, but no. Now it's a matter of what damage can Diatta do, because he's taken this round, Mike. Big right hand.
And almost one more. What a fight. Diatta and Wooding putting on a show for the fans inside the Accor Arena and watching around the world, live from Paris, France.
I don't know for sure, but I think that's going to be the biggest win of Fabakary Diatta's career. And he just showed, you know what, coming from France, France has got some tough fighters.
You got that right. If you look at the fighter in the blue gloves bouncing around, you look at the fighter and his reaction in the red gloves, one would agree with your assessment, partner.
Some of the shots in here by Diatta. He's throwing big knees inside. And he's winging shots. None of those hitting. That touched a little bit. Good little shot right there. Another shot. This is when they opened up. But when he got his hands together, you could tell how physically strong Fabakary Diatta is. He was able to pick him up, drop him down. And these exchanges, here's where he gets his hands together, sweeps the legs out, drops him down. Beautiful takedown by Diatta. Showed the overall skill set that he has. You can tell that Mr. Wooding kind of has an idea of how this is going to go.
Judges have rendered their decision. And here once again is Craig Stevens.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here in the Bellator cage, we go to our three scoring judges, where Judge Jaron Vallel, 29-28, both Douglas Crosby, Salvatore D'Amato, 30-27, all for the winner by unanimous decision from Aubervilliers, France, Fabakary Diatta.
Congratulations to Fabakary Diatta. Just days shy of his 24th birthday, moves to 9-0 in his professional career. Our winner, we'll talk to Gareth.
Fabakary Diatta, many congratulations. You seem to be elated.
Merci à tous d'être venus. Je tiens aussi à remercier mon adversaire, Dominique. Merci encore pour ce combat. Je remercie mes amis qui ont fait le déplacement, à ma famille qui sont à la maison, les potes, la famille, aussi à William qui n'a pas pu combattre aujourd'hui. Merci William, Salah et toute la team. Hatch, Boris, Arnaud, merci.
Fabakary has a very big family, yeah? You're thanking everyone. You're thanking everyone who's taken you to this journey. And you're also thanking Dominic for a great fight. It was a fantastic matchup of styles, wasn't it? You slowly took over the fight.
Ouais, c'est... Petit à petit, on prend la vergure dans le combat. Et plus ça monte en degré, plus j'avance. Et plus je prends le plaisir de combattre. Et après, ça donne ce résultat.
Our winner here loves the fact that it's all about combat, it's all about the pleasure of it. You're a brilliant sportsman. You are the first Frenchman to win in a major MMA event in France.
Oh.
So that's something as well, isn't it, you know?
Ouais, c'est vraiment magnifique de combattre en France. Surtout que le MMA n'était pas autorisé jusqu'à ses débuts. Là, maintenant, on a eu la chance d'avoir le Bellator à Paris. À la maison. Ici, c'est Paris.
Fabakari is thanking everyone in Paris. You're still unbeaten, 9-0. Go and enjoy it. Thank you very much.
That is a happy young man, and justifiably so. Fabakari Diatta, a winner on his home soil on this monumental day for MMA by unanimous decision. All right, let's get it back to Gareth and our own Bellator star, Liam McCourt.
Well, wherever Fabakari Diatta is in Paris tonight, I'm going to be there, and I hope you're going to come with me, because that's going to be one big party, because I tell you what, you can feel the elation in that cage right now. It was a terrific performance. He in a style matchup, they both want to stand and trade. He slowly took over the fight, Leah, didn't he?
Yeah, you can tell why Fabakari is undefeated. He was one step ahead in the striking exchanges. It was a real chess match. It was a tough loss for Dominic. You know, Dominic had nice head movement. He was landing some shots, but Fabakari was one step ahead. He was landing some clean shots. You know, some nice knees as well, setting up some nice strikes. And just one step ahead in the clinch, getting lovely takedowns as well.
Yeah, there was a lovely knee from Fabakari in the first round as well. And he slowly began to show his game against Dominic, who looked listless as the fight went on. He beat the life out of him in that sense, the kind of fighting energy out of him in the contest. And what a moment, though, to become the first Frenchman to win in a major MMA event in France.
Yeah, he really got momentum throughout the fight. He was dominating. He was dominating striking and the grappling, and you could just tell how emotional he was to get a win tonight in France.
Absolutely. We've got a lightweight battle coming up next. A British favourite, Terry Brazier, this former soldier, against a brilliant Frenchman, former breakdancer, Yves Landu.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the cage from France, Yves Landu.
Saw just off of that moment, had to let him do his thing. But Yves Landu is an incredible athlete. He is a good fighter. He's very athletic, like I said. Not real technical at times because he gets crazy in the fight, but he definitely is a handful of the cage. And this guy, Mike, loves the Kimura submission. If you see him grab an arm, he is going to try to take that thing home with him.
Yves Landu, his nickname, you know, comes from the time in which he was a break dancer. That might be some of his athleticism. And when he started fighting, people used to say, if you didn't know who Yves was, so now you know.
Well, he is enjoying himself the whole time, and you gotta love when someone is just passionate, having fun with coming out here. Think about how cool it would be now walking down that ramp, putting on the show that he is now. All he needs to do is finish it off with a big-time show inside the cage.
He also, as we had earlier, a member of the Snake fight team led by Cyril the Snake Diabate. Was an assistant coach on season 9 with Dan Henderson. back in the day, trained in the States on multiple occasions, four-time kickboxing world champion, and one of his veteran fighters in, Yves Londu, looking for his 16th career win.
And now, making his walk to the cage from England, Terry Brazier.
Former two-division BAMMA champion at 155 and 170. Came to Bellator as a double-weight champion. The guy that many considered the best lightweight in the UK. Things haven't gone the way that he wants them to go yet inside the Bellator cage, but he thinks they're going to start to head that way. One of the men he works with, our good buddy Dan Hardy.
Well, Terry Brazier is a good fighter. He is good everywhere. I think it was more the outside things that were going on in his life started to take his attention. And as a fighter, sometimes you have to be selfish. You have to, be about what you're doing. And when you have outside interference and things not going well in your life, it can take that commitment of training and everything away. I think that started to affect Terry's career. Now he's back on track. He's happy, and it should be this performance tonight that tells us, is Terry Brazier back to being the guy he was before?
Set for and the Dominator, a lightweight fight. Our tail of the tape for this last preliminary matchup. Brazier 11-3. Londu 15-8. 33-year-old against 34-year-old Brazier. Much taller. He has a 3-inch reach advantage. Looking to show tonight why Bellator brought him in, expecting him to be a big star. Here's Craig Stevens.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the action inside the Bellator cage, coming to you from the Accor Arena, Paris, France. Bellator MMA continuing with our Euro Series bonus coverage. This is 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, at 5'8" and weighing in at 154.2 pounds. His professional record, 15 wins, only 8 defeats, with 8 wins inside the distance. From Mo, fighting out of Paris, France, Yves Londu. And across the Bellator cage in the red corner, standing 6 foot tall and weighing in at 155 pounds even. His professional record, 11 wins, only 3 defeats, 7 wins inside the distance. This former para stands before you, a 2-division BAMMA champion. Fighting out of London, England, Terry, the Dominator Brazier. And a referee, Mr. Dan Mergliotta.
Dan Mergliotta, our referee for this lightweight fight. Live from Paris, France. Terry Brazier and Yves Londu. We are underway. Red gloves for Brazier. In the blue gloves. Terry closes the distance immediately.
Big kick attempt by Londu. Wasn't able to stop Brazier. He gets the takedown. Looking for that Kimura grip. Remember I talked about the Kimura. He goes for it all the time. Terry needs to be careful. This guy has got the ability to create. There it is. Turns him with it. Gets the top position. He will not let go of that thing. He did let go of it. But he, all the time, every time I watch him, that Kimura grip is what he goes to.
the groin. Time.
So that was a little south of the border.
Yes.
Right up between. Didn't hit him that hard, you could tell. But got to give the guy a little bit of the break. Let him feel like he's back. That's what Dan Miragliotta is doing right now.
Time, keep it ready. Ready? Let's go, fight.
The battle continues. First minute of the fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Landau will switch his stance back and forth. He's southpaw here. Orthodox stance for Brazier. Good counter.
Beautiful right hand by Brazier. Brazier just being very calm, calculating. You're going to see that Landau likes to be sometimes a little bit crazy. He'll open up with crazy spinning kicks, back fists. When he's feeling good, he'll do all kinds of crazy techniques. I don't know if that's a smart thing to do against Terry Brazier.
Quick kick there.
Got it up high. Nice. Leaving that chin open. And when you see when he's starting to exit, watch to see his chin starts to come up as he leans his head back. That's not a good sign, because all it takes is Terry Brazier to time that moment, land a shot. It's going to have a big effect.
Ooh, just missed that one. And a smile on the face.
And a swing and a miss.
Yep. And Yves Landau said, you know, that almost hit me. Little Superman punch, but short.
Oh, he's out.
It is all over.
That's the explosive stuff I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about now. Wow.
That's what I had seen from him. He will start to go and do things that you go, look what he's doing right here.
That's breakdancing, baby.
God bless him. But he is explosive at times.
Wow.
That was a huge knee. And as he would say, now you know.
I think we do. I told you he was a break dancer.
Watch this. Comes up, flying knee. Boom! Right on the butt. Brazier is out. Switch knee. That left knee just landed flush. A beautiful technique by Yves Landau. Right in the top of the forehead, but it just put Terry out. You can see he can't control his body. He's stiff. This is what I had seen by Landau. To make those big, exciting, explosive movements. Sometimes it would work for him. Sometimes caught him in bad places. But today, that worked to perfection.
When asked what his greatest strength was, he said, my abilities to get explosive and bring a show and a fight with lots of action like a MVP, a Michael Venom Page. That was pretty good.
That was pretty MVP-like.
That was very much so.
Brazier, sitting there, you see him arguing. He doesn't know what happened.
No.
He got knocked out. It's a moment that's gone to him, and he doesn't realize that the fight's over and that he lost. So he's questioning everything. It happens all the time. It's always sad to see. That's why he's unsure of what's going on right now.
Not only did he catch him, John, but Terry Brazier was kind of leaning in, looking for a potential takedown as well. So unfortunate timing for the Dominator as Yves Landau earns his victory in his Bellator debut in spectacular fashion. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, you can watch right here. This knee hits him right in the side of the head, forehead right there. And you can see look at Brazier's body language. He is stiff. He is disconnected right here. He has see how his arm is stiff? No ability to control his body. He doesn't know that happened, though. And that's why you're seeing sometimes fighters, when that happens, you see them arguing and complaining. They just don't understand what occurred because it's a moment in their life that they weren't there for.
Well, he had a ton of fun walking in, and he's going to have a ton of fun walking out. If you didn't know, now you know. To make it official, Craig Steven.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, referee Dan Mergliotta stops the action. 2 minutes, 18 seconds of round number 1. The winner by KO from Paris, France, Yves Longiou.
Flying knee knockout in his Bellator debut. Simply spectacular. Congratulations to Yves Longiou. Now you can go, Gareth. He's just excited.
Yves Longiou, what a knockout. What a knockout. Is that the career highlight for you?
My English is better.
Okay, is that the best moment of your career? C'est le premier moment de son carrière?
J'entends rien.
C'est le premier moment de ta carrière?
Oui, premier événement de ma carrière en MMA en France. Je combats à domicile. Que demander de mieux? Merci. Je devais briller au sein de mon public en France. À domicile, j'étais obligé de gagner. En plus, il y a tout le monde qui sont venus regarder à droite, à gauche, en haut, en bas. Mais juste, je tiens à dire, à la base, moi, j'étais un danseur professionnel. Je me suis mis dans le sport de combat comme ça. Et tous ceux qui me connaissent, ils savent que je suis là pour faire le show, avant, pendant et après. Et là, le public, il va claquer des mains parce qu'ils savent que je vais faire une démonstration encore de breakdance, motherfucker!
Great, congratulations. You're a great dancer and a great fighter. Thank you very much. Here we go.
Well, it's... Wow. I told you he was athletic. That's awesome. That's almost as good as his knockout. What a show. And now you know. And he does know a little bit of English. And when he said we, John, that meant yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
You and me, right?
4 years of France, 4 years of French, 2 in college, and I still remember that.
Oh, good for you. Thank you.
All right, back down to Gareth and Leah.
Wow, Leah, what a knockout and what a performance, what a dancer. He was a former breakdancer who comes into MMA. It was extraordinary, lit up by the crowd. What a great fight.
Yeah, I don't know what was more impressive, his knee or his dancing after, but that's how you throw a flying knee. He really committed to that, and oh my goodness, what a knockout.
It was incredible. It is brilliant to be here and witness so much artistry. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the BBC iPlayer. We've got so much more coming up. Don't forget, 10 p.m. on Channel 5. We've got 2 p.m. Pacific and 5 p.m. on the East Coast of America. We'll see you next time. It's been a fantastic night here in Paris, and it finished with a dramatic knockout. Well, Leah,